Good morning to all. My name is Himanshu Srivastav. Today we'll read the story Glimpses of India Part 3 Tree from Assam by Arup Kumar Datta. This video includes line-wise explanation and the summary of the story. The link for the notes of this chapter is in the description box. So let's start the story. Pranjul, a youngster from Assam, is Rajveer's classmate at school in Delhi. Pranjol's father is the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam, and Pranjol has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacation. The lesson is about two friends, Pranjol and Rajveer, who are traveling to Pranjol's hometown Assam for the summer vacation. Assam is known as the tea country. It has the largest concentration of plantations in the world. During their journey, they discuss about the various legends that are known to have discovered tea. The story tells us about the popularity of tea as a beverage. Now the line-wise explanation. Chai garam garam chai, a vendor called out in high-pitched voice. He came up to their window and asked, Chai saab, give us two cups, Pranjul said. They sipped the steaming hot liquid. Almost everyone in their compartment was drinking tea too. Do you know that our over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world? Rajveer said. We exclaimed Pranjul. Tea really is very popular. The scene is set on a train station where a tea vendor asked the two friends, Pranjul and Rajveer, if they would like to buy some freshly made hot tea. They decided to have two cups of tea, joining almost everyone else in their compartment. With this, Pranjul highlights the fact that almost 80 crore cups of tea are consumed every day throughout the world, while Rajveer remains surprised on listening to it. Indeed, tea is a popular beverage all over the world. The train pulled out of the station. Pranjol buried his nose in his detective book again. Rajveer too was an ardent fan of detective stories, but at the moment he was keener on looking at the beautiful scenery. It was green everywhere. Rajveer had never seen so much greenery before. Then the soft green paddy fields gave way to tea bushes. It was a magnificent view. Again, the backdrop of densely wooded hills, a sea of tea bushes stretched as far as the eye could see. Dwarfing the tiny tea plants were tall, sturdy shade trees, and amidst the orderly rows of bushes, Beasley moved doll like figures. Sturdy means strong, dwarfing means small, insignificant in comparison. As soon as the train started moving, Pranjul got engaged in reading his detective book. Both the friends were huge fans of detective books, but Rajveer chose to look at the scenic beauty at the moment. There was greenery all around, something Rajveer had never seen before. After the green paddy fields came tea plantations. As far as he was able to look, only tea bushes were visible, so much so that the narrator compared it to a sea of tea bushes. In the background, there were hills with dense forest. In between the tea plantations, there were orderly rows of tall and strong trees that were moving because of the wind. It was an amazing view. Means Rajveer was enjoying in the train the scenery outside. In the distance was an ugly building with smoke billowing out of tall chimney. Hey, a tea garden! Rajveer cried excitedly. Pranjol, who had been born and brought up on the plantation, did not share Rajveer's excitement. Oh, this is tea country now, he said. Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. Here, billowing means moving or flowing outward. Concentration means cluster in huge amount. As the train was moving, next Rajveer saw was an ugly looking building with smoke coming out of it. It was a tea garden. Rajveer got excited. But Pranjul, who had seen all of it during his childhood, did not match up to his friend's level of enthusiasm. Pranjul tells him that they have entered Assam, means area which is known as tea, Assam, which is known as tea country. The state has the maximum number of tea plantations in the world. I have been reading as much as I could about tea, Rajveer said. No one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. What legends? Well, there is the one about the Chinese emperor who always boiled water before drinking it. One day, a few leaves of the twigs burning under the pot fell into the water, giving it a delicious flavor. It is said that they were tea leaves. Before visiting the tea country, Rajveer read a lot about tea and how it was discovered. There were numerous theories and stories, among them about a Chinese emperor who had a habit of drinking boiled water. Once upon a time, when he was boiling water, few leaves fell into water and it tasted delicious. It is said that those leaves were tea leaves. Now Pranjol, in excitement, he asked another story behind the discovery of tea. Then Pranjol said, we have an Indian legend too. Buddhidharma, an ancient Buddhist ascetic, cut off his eyelids because he felt sleepy during meditations. Then tea plants grew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants, when put in hot water and drunk, banish sleep. Tea was first drunk in China, Rajveer added, as far back as 2700 BC. In fact, words such as tea, chai, and chini are from Chinese. Tea came to Europe only in 16th century and was drunk more as medicine than as beverage. Here ascetic means a religious person, banish means get rid of. On being asked by Pranjol, Rajveer told another story about an Indian legend named Buddhidharma. He was a Buddhist monk who had cut his eyelids because he used to feel sleepy while meditating. Eventually, tea plants grew out of his eyelids, which, upon consuming after boiling with water, helped in getting rid of sleep. Further, Rajveer highlighted a few facts that stated that tea dates back to 2700 BC and was first consumed in China. All such words such as chai and chini have originated from Chinese language. Tea was introduced to Europe quite late in the 16th century, where it was considered to have medicinal properties instead of beverage. Now, after hearing these two stories about the discovery of tea, the the boys were talking. The train clattered into Mariani Junction. The boys collected their luggage and pushed their way to the crowded platform. Pranjol's parents were waiting for them. Soon they were driving towards Dekiabari, the tea garden managed by Pranjol's father. An hour later, the car veered sharply off the main road. They crossed a cattle bridge and entered Dekiabari tea estate. Clattered here means loud noise made by the train brakes. Veered means change direction. Means the train had stopped and the boys reached their destination where they gathered their luggage and deboarded the train only to find a platform that was very crowded. Pranjol's parents had come to receive them. After almost an hour, they reached Dekiabari, the place where Pranjol's tea garden was there, which was looking after by his father. And after taking a turn, making their way through a cattle bridge, they reached there. On both sides of the gravel road were acre upon acre of tea bushes, all neatly pruned to the same height. Groups of tea pluckers with bamboo baskets on their backs, wearing plastic aprons, were plucking the newly sprouted leaves. Pruned means cut away from a tree. Their tea garden was stretched upon a vast area of land. All the bushes were cut to the same height, and they had been taken care of. On the fields, tea pluckers were seen wearing an apron and carrying the bamboo basket in order to pluck the freshly sprouted leaves. Pranjul's father slowed down to allow a tractor, pulling a trailer loaf of tea leaves to pass. This is the second flush or sprouting period, isn't it, Mr. Badua? Rajvir asked. It lasts from May to July and yields the best tea. You seem to have done your homework before coming, means Pranjol's father was surprised. Yes, Mr. Barua, Rajvir admitted, but I hope to learn much more while I am here. On their way to the fields, Pranjol's father gave way to a tractor that was loaded with tea leaves. On seeing this, Rajvir flaunts his knowledge by mentioning that this is the second sprouting period of the year that lasts from May to July and gives excellent yield. Pranjol's father, who seems impressed, replies that he seemed to have done a lot of research before coming. Means here Rajvir said whatever he had studied about the tea, and that impressed Mr. Barua, Pranjol's father. Pranjol, who was excited about the learning more about the amazing beverage, showed his intention for the same. So this is the story. Now summary. The story revolves around the infamous beverage tea, telling us more about its history and discovery. It begins from the scene where two friends, Pranjol and Rajveer, are set to go to Assam, Pranjol's hometown, when a tea vendor asks them if they would like to have some freshly made tea. They buy two cups, joining almost every other person in their compartment. From there, the journey begins, and Pranjol starts reading his detective book while Rajveer decides to enjoy the scenic beauty. There were soft green paddy fields followed by tea bushes. Rajveer is very excited on seeing such large plantations of tea, but Pranjol is unable to match the same level because he was born and brought up in Assam. Means from the childhood he had seen whatever Rajveer was seeing. Visiting there for the first time, Rajveer did a lot of study about how tea was discovered and that it dates back to 2700 BC. According to what he read, it was first consumed in China and reached Europe in the 16th century, where it was mostly popular for its medicine properties. There are numerous stories as to how it was discovered, one about a Chinese emperor and the other about a Buddhist monk. The former liked the taste of it, while the latter used to it to get rid of sleep. As they were having this discussion, they reached their destination where Pranjol's parents had come to receive them and take them to their tea garden. On their way, they passed a cattle bridge and gave way to a truck filled with tea leaves, which drew their attention to the fact that it was